Hi, welcome to Business Influencers. I'm your host, Chris Salem. Hope everyone is having a great week. We want to thank you, listeners, each and every week for joining us here at Business Influencers, part of the TALRadio network for Touch of Life Foundation. And again, we are committed to you each and every week in bringing subject matter experts sharing their words of wisdom and insights to help elevate your level of influence in business to the next level. If you would like to see future content that resonates with you on a future show, feel free to contact us at chris@christophersalem.com. We'd be more than happy to entertain what can help you raise your level of influence and take your business to the next level. Today's show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to meet new people for the first time. Now, this is a membership program, meaning it takes all the noise out of social media and an opportunity for you now to come in on your time to generate genuine and authentic relationships with people that maybe perhaps you've known from the past, whether if it was in your classes, whether it was a fraternity, sorority, whatever the case may be on your time. And in addition, it offers a wide array of different services not available to the general public, both for personal and professional use. If you'd like some more information about Alumni Direct, check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, we got a great show for you today. As always, we're going to be talking about standing out in a crowded market. So how are we going to be able to really be more compelling first, and then how we can be unique in the crowded markets that we're in across many industries. We happen to be with our subject matter expert for today, Adam Packard. He is the founder of Ninja Prospecting with over 2 decades in sales and networking. Over the past 7 years, he's assisted thousands of professionals in optimizing their impact through LinkedIn. Now, he grew up in Maine, and he initially pursued a career in golf, but found it financially unrewarding. Following various ventures, including managing seminars for sales trainer Tom Hopkins, he discovered the power of personalized greeting cards. Transitioning to a network marketing model, he has built a successful business for 12 years. Now, facing unexpected challenges, he joined the corporate world, but eventually returned to entrepreneurship. Leveraging his diverse background, he has found success in lead generation and on LinkedIn, and he's always encouraged by his wife to expand his services, combining networking, sales training, copywriting, and general interest in others' success. Today, in his Ninja Prospecting business, he prioritizes quality over quantity, offering customized solutions to help clients achieve faster success. And without further ado, we welcome Adam Packard to the show. Adam, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for that intro. I appreciate it. Love the
Not a problem.
you got the voice for radio, man. You do. I love
Yeah, I've been doing this for a while. I got 2 shows, so
it.
and I've been doing podcasts, oh God, going back to 2005 when it was back in the iPod days. So been a long time. But
That's
great.
awesome.
We are so thrilled to have you. You are doing so many great things with business leaders and businesses with Ninja Prospecting. Let's talk a little bit about, this crowded market that we're in. There's so many different industries, businesses, lots of information out there. What is it going to take now for businesses really to stand out in this crowded market?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's a loaded question because there's so many factors that, it depends on, right?
Yeah.
What I would recommend most people look at is I think you have to master one platform first before you move on to others. I see so many people trying to, spread themselves too thin across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever the social platform may be, and never actually building and developing any roots. So I'm a big believer in picking one platform and going all in. For us, it was LinkedIn. And when I fell into this LinkedIn space 7 years ago, I thought we were going to be standing out. I didn't think there was going to be that much competition. And then when I got into it and realized, oh, wow, there are a lot of people that do what we do, we have to differentiate just like we help our clients do.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing is you really have to pick a platform where your audience hangs out, and master that, because we don't need more than one platform for our business. Our calendar is full. Our clients' calendars are full, just from one organic platform using LinkedIn. So I think it really just depends on, determine where your audience is hanging out first, and then from there help develop the strategy and the game plan that's going to help you
Yeah.
differentiate yourself.
I agree with you 100%. There's so many people that, I guess the term is spray and pray, right? You just throw it out there and see what sticks. But, if you have a strategy and know where your audience is, and I've found that, if you could elaborate on it, like should organizations, when they know where their audience are, or individuals, depending upon what the business, connect with them on their challenge that could be better in the results they seek, not features and benefits. People are going to relate, I guess those, what is that challenge great enough now that I'm looking for answers?
Yeah, I think you have to, you could spray and pray 3 years ago on LinkedIn, right? They
Yeah.
let you do 100, 150 connection requests a day, and you didn't have to be very good at reaching out to people, and you could still get some results. You throw enough stuff against the wall, some of it's bound to stick. Now you've got to be a little bit more efficient and effective and think outside the box. So it really depends on who your audience is too, right? Because you
Yeah.
can be more direct if you're talking to, let's say a consumer or a middle manager. But if you're targeting founders, owners, C-suite individuals, they get quite a few messages. And so
Yeah.
if you don't have a message that stands out and focuses on building a relationship and adding value first, then you're immediately going to get, put at the bottom of the pile, and your messaging is going to be white noise. But if you look at LinkedIn just as a platform, I think companies, individuals, whatever business you're in, you have to look at it as a long-term play. Unfortunately, we live in this microwave society where everybody wants results today or yesterday, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer to kind of build that presence. But if you look at LinkedIn, there's two strategies that we employ. You have your active strategies and your passive strategies. What most people do is they post and pray, right? They post content. They hope people will take a look at it and message them. And although I'm fairly consistent on the posting and the content strategy, I can count on one or two hands how many people have messaged me saying, "Hey, Adam, loved your post. Let's set up a call and tell me more about your work." So
Um,
if you look at content as kind of a brand awareness, social proof, credibility, visibility, you need that piece of the business. And again, LinkedIn is not turned into Facebook, hopefully yet, where people are posting pictures of their meals and that
yeah,
kind of stuff.
exactly. Let's
But
hope not.
but you still have to humanize it a little bit, right? I think, it's funny. If I look at the posts that I've done, the ones that have been the most successful and gotten the most engagement are ones where I actually shared something personal, whether it was a story, something about my family, maybe a lesson that I learned. So it doesn't need to be all promotional.
Yeah.
And I think there needs to be a balance of letting people into your world and letting them know who you are. But again, that's just one piece of the puzzle. So that's more of the passive strategy for brand awareness. It's almost like going to a seminar, and the guy posting content is the guy in the back of the room that's selling the CDs and the
Yeah.
tapes back in the day, right? You're hoping people come up to your booth, but you're not actively, going after those people. So that's one strategy, and I think you need to employ that. But the other strategy that we're really good at is, who is your audience? Who is the person that you want to get in front of? Who's the person that you want to have a conversation with? Who's the person that you want to share more info with? That's like going out into the crowd and shaking and meeting, 500 people at a seminar. Let's go out and start some conversations and reach out to people where the only goal is to add value, create conversation, maybe create a little curiosity and interest in what you do, um, and then just reach out and start the conversation the right way. But it all comes back to what makes what you do different, unique, special. And I think there's a lot of people, a lot of companies and businesses that are too general or too broad, and that's great from a brand awareness perspective. But when you're trying to market yourself and start new conversations, you have to have something that stands out from your
Yeah.
competition.
What do you say? Like, I guess it varies for different industries, but they call it the buyer's journey, I guess. And not everybody at some point might be ready to buy. Maybe not right now, and it's really so. How important? Well, first of all, I guess the first question would be: is are you seeing those actual touch points? Are they increasing or are they decreasing? And would that be, if they are decreasing, that would be a matter of your content being really impactful and how frequent and consistent that you're putting in front of them? I guess that was a double question there.
Yeah, I think frequency and consistency in the content and what you're sharing is key. But it all depends on the approach. If I reach out to someone with the goal of, yeah, I want to find opportunities today, but I also don't want to just burn through connections and crush all relationship capital
Yeah.
because I approached you poorly. And so there's a balancing act between finding the right opportunities today, but also keeping the door open for that future conversation. So I think it has to be kind of a push pull type
Yeah.
of situation where, yeah, we don't want to push too hard that we push them away. But we also, want to make sure that we, guide people to our content and what we're doing, and should they have a need now or in the future, there's a right way to do it where it builds that credibility. And again, with how many messages we get on all platforms, I don't know how
Oh
many you
yeah.
get. I get pitched endlessly, and if you can reach out to people and start conversations naturally, where it immediately separates you from everybody else that's reaching out, then now all of a sudden you're kind of a cut above the rest.
That's so true. I find that genuine, authentic approach really works really well. Do you find that there are ways now? I don't, with it used to be, like it was always in the copyright, or now we got Chat GBT too. And is the copyright like if it's done a certain way again, where it really like it, again comes across authentic, genuine, and again not always trying to like you're not pitching them, but you're educating them, but yet offering something always of something of value to keep
Yeah,
moving things along.
I think you have to ask the right questions,
Yep.
not make any assumptions that people need what you have. I'm anti sending any links in any message because it creates no engagement. So I like everything that we do to be permission based. So reaching out and asking a question, and if there's a need or interest, then I send you some more information. And if there's not, then that's okay too. But I don't want to just spam people, right? And that's
Yeah.
not my goal. If I make it all about me and pitching my services and what we do, I wouldn't be busy. But the way that we approach it is, hey, if I can add value and give you some ideas on what's working now, because what's working now, is completely different than what worked last year and the year before that. And if you don't stay up with the trends and what's working, you're going to get left in the dust. But there are a
Yeah.
lot of things that you can do to stand out.
Wow, that's great. What are you finding? Like, what would you recommend? Like those, like we have small businesses, small companies, entrepreneurs that listen to the show each and every week. What would be that, the suggestion? Obviously work with somebody like yourself, if they're going to do it right and get best results. But just to say they're just starting out, they got to work up to, let's say, get to that point. What would be that first step that you would share with them?
Yeah, I think you have to figure out what's the right strategy. Like work from, what's the end result that you're after, and then work backwards from there, and then develop a game plan around what that looks like. And it's different it's hard to generalize because there are lots of different companies and business owners that are probably listening in, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, whoever it might be. But having a game plan and then finding someone that can help you find your voice, and don't feel like you have to do it all yourself. I think that's one thing that we've been really good at is our zone of genius is coming up with what's the right strategy and what's the right game plan for Chris, versus just kind of plugging you into, oh, here's a template that worked for someone else and I'm just going to duplicate that
Yeah.
process for you. You have to find your unique voice and have someone that can almost take an outside perspective and look at what you're trying to do and give you some ideas and suggestions based on the trends that we're seeing and what's working and what's not. But again, take that long-term approach with, let's start with the end in mind and kind of work backwards from there, and then create a game plan to effectively reach out to your audience and build that brand awareness, but do it in a way that, again, focuses on adding value and building relationships first.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And you find like since you've gravitated obviously 7 years ago to LinkedIn, and you find that LinkedIn is that platform where people are more likely to gauge, unlike let's say an Instagram, Facebook, or even X or Twitter, that type of thing.
Yeah.
What is it about LinkedIn that you find that maybe is it because they're in a business frame of mind, or is it that type of thing?
Yeah, it's more of a, I mean, it's where our audience hangs out, right? So it's more
Yeah,
B2B. So I think you have to look at where does your audience hang out? And it might not be LinkedIn, right?
it
For
might
us,
not. Yeah, you're right. It might
right,
not be.
it might not be a good fit, but find out where your audience is. And for us, it's on LinkedIn. But the reason why I like LinkedIn and why I gravitated towards it in the first place was when I had a friend of mine that reached out to me 7 years ago and said, can you help me generate some leads for this new startup that we have? It was in the advertising space. I had never sold advertising a day in my life. I didn't even know who to target. So I literally Googled how to sell advertising and realized the only place I could find his audience was on LinkedIn. I always had a LinkedIn account, had never used it. I found my login and logged in for the first time in probably 10 years. What I like about LinkedIn is they have certain premium versions of LinkedIn. Sales Navigator is kind of
Yeah.
their premium search. And what that allows you to do is really target exactly who you're looking for. So if I'm looking for an entrepreneur, in his 50s that, went to Penn State, that has been in business for 10 years and is in the construction business, right? I can really narrow down the search and find as many people as I want to all over the world. Whereas I can't find that on other platforms. It's harder for me to search and identify my audience on Facebook and on Instagram. So I like the ability to kind of
Yeah.
hone in on that audience and tell me who you're looking to meet, and we'll build a search and we just start conversations that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always find that also on LinkedIn, you can see who they're connected with, in terms of businesses and certain people. And it also gives them that credibility that say, hey, yeah, that would be someone I would like to target, whether if it's an individual or, if it was a business.
Yeah, and that's where the content really comes into play too. So
Yeah.
if I send someone a message, they are typically going to go look at my profile and want to know a little bit more about me and my work, and they can look at some of the content that I share. And if my values resonate with theirs, conversation usually happens. And if it doesn't, that's okay. But it personalizes it more. I mean, we've done cold email in the past, and that's another way to reach out to a lot of people, but there's not that level of personalization that I can look at your profile and I can see, oh, you went to this school and this is an interesting background. And oh, you worked at Google or whatever it might be. I can make some connection points.
So let's talk a little bit about, I guess, people say that video always is most effective. So is it just all video, or do you feel like there's a case for a mix? It could be a mix of posts, video, could be, maybe an article, blog, that type of thing.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't post many videos at all.
I'm
I
glad.
think the
I'm glad I'm hearing that from you, because
yeah.
I want to hear that perspective.
Yeah, most of the content I share is short form, just written,
Yep.
got a picture. I don't write many articles. I don't have many blog posts because the content piece is not the driver for most people's businesses. It's a foundation. So if I can, my strength is in writing. So, yeah, I could do a video, but I like to share my thoughts and almost use LinkedIn and the content as kind of my personal journal and kind of
Yeah.
what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and what I'm going through, and what I'm working on. Any stories I want to share, people that I've met. Um, so I don't think that the type of format is as important as the consistency of
Mhm.
sharing stuff regularly. But again, you can't rely on that. It's one of those things that, if that's all you did, then yeah, you might get some followers and build some brand awareness. But if you're looking to drive business and drive revenue, you have to start conversations with your ideal clients, and
Yeah.
to do that effectively, instead of waiting for them to come to you, go right to them to start a conversation. And that's how we're able to do what we do.
I love what you said earlier. Yeah, people are less likely that they're going to click and keep clicking and that's how you're going to bring them in. It's not, especially it depends on what you do. Like if you're, you have a business that sells a $50,000, $100,000, solution. No one's just clicking on a link to do that.
No, no. And if you try that, then you're going to lose a potential client,
Yeah,
right? So if you,
exactly.
and again, it depends on if you're selling a $50 widget or a $50,000 consulting package, right? Depending on what you're doing and who you're trying to reach, there's a right approach to do it. And your sales cycle might be longer on those bigger ticket items, but if it is, you better have an approach that works on building a relationship first versus just trying to connect and pitch someone.
Yeah, so true. So true. I love it. I love
You know,
what you said there. And and I like the fact that the consistency is so important that you said. I mean, I've always believed in consistency in everything that we do is, it reflects in the success that we have long term. It's a more sustainable model. And it doesn't mean you send out the same stuff, but you know when to adapt, when to change. Talk about, like, I guess that, like, do you see, like, do you like, there's a time to change content, or maybe, like you said, mix it up with something personal instead of just, all related to what you do.
yeah, the biggest challenge I see is people that are just creating stuff that doesn't have any relevance to their brand or what they're doing. I think going into having some type of social media strategy, you have to get your positioning down. What's the brand? What do you stand for? What's your mission? What are your values? And then from there, kind of build the content around that versus just kind of, randomly posting things that are not reflective of what the brand is all
Yeah.
about. So I think that's the most important part, is kind of setting the foundation before you start putting a content plan into place. Is what are we trying to do? Who are we trying to reach? What's our positioning? How do we stand out? And then from there, develop the plan.
Got it. I love it. Love it. Love what you shared there. So much great information. What else could you share with the audience that you feel like when it comes to, standing out in a crowded market in there, if it's in a particular industry or, different industries or just a segment that they're in?
I would say don't be afraid to offend people. It's
I
like
guess bad publicity is
yeah,
good publicity,
yeah,
right?
stand up for what you believe in. Like I had a guest on our podcast earlier, and she said that was one of the factors in her success was she just was her own person, and she kind of planted her flag in the sand and said, "This is who I am, and if you like me, great, and if not, that's okay." If you're not getting any no's, you're not prospecting enough. If you're
Oh
not
God.
ruffling any feathers, you're not getting your message out there enough. Not
That
everything
that
you
is so
share
true.
going to be
So true.
relevant, but you've got to, just be different. Just speak your voice. And if you have an opinion on something, share it. And the people that are going to be attracted to you are the people that, have that same opinion. And you're going to have people that don't resonate with what you're doing, and that's okay. But
That's
I
okay.
would say
Yeah.
just be okay with, not everybody loving you.
Yeah, I love what you said because you're not going to be everything for everyone. Sometimes you may share something that might catch somebody at a time where they didn't want to hear that. And whether if it's personal or in a business, and sometimes while they might have like maybe said a nasty comment or said something negative, it's actually could be a good thing because like 6 months down the road, that very person could come back to you and say, I don't know if you remember me or not. I'm the one who reacted negatively to your post, but now I want to come back and first apologize, which no apology is required, and knowing that you played a part and maybe helped triggering something they didn't want to confront at that time, but now they finally have.
Yeah, I think it happens quite a bit. I mean, I send tons of messages out and receive a lot of replies back, and it's so funny. I could send the same message to two different people. One person will say, "This is the worst thing about LinkedIn. Stop spamming me." And the very next person will say, "Adam, that was the best message I've ever received. I've never taken a call with a lead gen guy, but I want to chat with you." And so you can't say the wrong thing to the right person or the right thing to the wrong person.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting world. You got to have some thick skin, but roll your sleeves up and position yourself and go all in. I mean, you're going to have haters and you're going to have people that love you. But I think with the content in play, when I send someone a message and they don't resonate with it, if they follow my content and they listen to the podcast, they get a better sense of who I am, and then usually that warms them up to having that conversation.
Wow, I love it. I love someone that really, especially somebody in your business, where, it's like, hey, we want to do it right, but hey, sometimes, when it doesn't, that's okay too. We got to
Yeah.
take, you got to take some lumps with the good stuff, as
Yep.
well. That's how we grow. I love it. I know we're getting towards the end of the show, but I wanted, before we let people know how to get in touch with you in Ninja Prospecting, any last words of wisdom, in 30 seconds or less that you can share around what you shared today with us about standing out in the crowded market?
Yeah, I would say, talk to, engage in outside help just for a conversation. Sometimes it's good to have an outside perspective. Sometimes we're so knee deep into our own business that it's hard to get a different perspective. So be open to maybe some creative outside the box ideas that can get you the exposure that you're looking for. And then, like I said, go all in. Pick one platform where your audience is hanging out and develop a plan for that one platform. Maximize that and then move on to another platform. But most companies, most business owners, entrepreneurs that I talk to can have success and fill their calendar and grow their business from just one platform. For us, it's LinkedIn. It's the best place where we can find our audience. But yeah, I would say develop that strategy and that game plan. Be okay with being different. Look at what your competition's doing and try to do the opposite. I mean, we call our company the opposite of every lead gen company, just because we want to stand out and be different. And I think we do
Yeah.
that in a number of different ways. So try to, if you have a lot of competition in your space, look what everybody else is doing and just do the complete opposite and watch what happens.
Love it. Well, first of all, we want to thank you here from TALRadio for taking the time out of your schedule to be here. How can people, reach out to you and get to know you, and anything that you would like to leave with them today?
Yeah, obviously I'm on LinkedIn, so if you're on there, shoot me a connection message and a note saying you listen to the show. That'd be great. Our website is real simple. It's just ninjaprospecting.com. Got tons of testimonials and case studies on there, so you can kind of see a little bit more about our work, and my calendar's on there as well if someone's open to a chat. But yeah, happy to give some ideas and strategies and show you what is possible with LinkedIn.
Awesome. We highly encourage everybody to reach out to Adam and Ninja Prospect. And again, they're doing great things for brands and businesses of all types on LinkedIn. Again, you want to take your business to the next level, reach out to them. And again, we will make sure to have that information here in the show notes as well. Thank you so much, Adam.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And thank you, listeners, each and every week joining us here with Business Influencers. Again, we are committed to your success to raise your level of influence and business to the next level. Till then, everybody, we want to wish you a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.